You're listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hayner.
This is Zoom the TBT of Charge and Hayner, and we have a special guest host tonight, a co-host. We'd like to welcome star shooting guard and on his last dance, Elmore of Heard That. What's going on, man?
Not much. Thanks for having me, guys. Been a crazy day with TBT so far, and take a break from it to join you guys.
Yeah, 57 all in that Enchantment Heartfire game. But this is hard to believe. This may be Ott's last dance. I mean, I remember the party bus with the West Virginia Wildcats rolling into Columbus, and I don't know how many years later is this now. 6 years later, Ott? Like that.
4 or 5. That first year on the party bus, I had to coach because I broke my foot about a month before TBT. But so it might be 6, but I think this is my 5th.
Yeah, so pretty wild. I mean, quite the journey from the Wildcats to Heard That, and I'm sure we'll get into a little more about the Heard That here in a second. So I'll let Hayner drive this thing and get us rolling.
Well, also the fact that Ott's also going into a less honorable trade than basketball, is going to become a lawyer. Why didn't you do something honorable like contract killing or something? Why the law?
Mainly because I just wanted to make some money. I was coaching college basketball. I got married. Found out very quickly it's hard to be married and making minimum wage. So, got to make a little money. So I figured, heck, a lawyer I could do it that way.
Hang on. So you're married. So all the fans have to, they can't get Ott. Like, you're off the market.
Yeah, but
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm a lucky guy. So I'm happily off the market.
Oh my God! We just lost our female viewership. All 3 of them just left the show. So okay, so I will keep with you for a minute. So looking at this bracket, when you got your seed, what was your initial thought looking at this bracket? And feel free to curse because we're not a family-friendly show.
No, I sort of knew. I knew sort of where we stood the whole time. We could have signed. We could have brought LeBron James, in to play with Heard That, but we were probably still going to get that 4 seed. West Virginia is probably going to be the one. We're their co-host, I guess. And I knew they won that matchup in the second round. So we sort of knew all along we were going to be the 4 seed. But with that said, when we show up, Sunday night at 5 o'clock to play the Founding Fathers, we are not going to look like a 4 seed.
And we will be courtside there. So we can't wait to see you do that. We'll actually go live and actually get you show. And my camera just went out. That's crazy. Now you see a different view of me.
Yeah, I was really confused. Wow. There's Hayner's other side, the not so good side.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but we're going to roll with it. I mean, they're both bad sides. Let's just be honest. So looking at these slides real quick. Also, we know looking at this, we're also watching the Heartfire game. Is it a bit of relief to not see Team 23 there?
A relief, but part of the competitor in us wishes we could have got a second chance at them. We were close. We had 3 possessions with the ball where we could have reached the Elam ending, and that's sort of the type of person I am. I know that's how my brother is we'd have liked to see them again just because we want revenge. We were sort of upset with the way that game ended. They went from barely beating us to making a run where they had a shot to win the whole thing in the championship. So that just made us feel like we were close. And but on the other foot, we'd have liked an easier matchup than Team 23 right off the jump. So, they're doing their thing out in New Mexico. So maybe we'll see them in Dayton. That way we can get the revenge there.
Maybe you'll see like the way you think. Let's get right into the matchup. So West Virginia versus the Virginia Dream. So this is a team that you know pretty well. What do casual fans who are just following the event need to know about West Virginia besides they're not the superior team to Heard That?
Well, West Virginia, they're going to have the fans on their side. There'll be 5,000 to 7,000 people there. They're all going to be rooting for West Virginia. They're a big team. Big bodies with Kevin Jones is an awesome rebounder, big body, good scorer. John Flowers as a wing has got great size. They're going to be physical. They have some of the West Virginia guys, but they've also went outside this year. Well, and last year, Jamel Morris is a great player. In fact, he played with a bunch of Heard That guys this past weekend in a tournament in Ohio that we just played. so we're familiar with him.
Won some money.
Yeah, we won a little bit of money, and he decided he looked good in green, but we couldn't keep him there for this tournament coming up. But they're going to be a good team. People have said they've underperformed in the past, and that just comes with how big of names they have and how good of a history they had while in college, and then since they've went on to pros. But they're going to be a tough out for anybody.
Yeah, Caleb, go ahead. Yeah, just Caleb Weston is not playing, as we talked about a number of times. These slides go up a little bit sooner than the breaking news, and I think Caleb Weston's been on more TBT teams and not play than anybody, so I'm not sure his situation, but it'd be nice to see him actually playing the TBT one of these days. But the one guy that I did not mention is Jason Page. When they played down at VCU couple 2-3 years back, he was taking care of business and really leading that team before I think he hurt his hand or something, got knocked out of the game. So I think that's kind of a sneaky play for them, that he's real comfortable with this team and can really facilitate well for these guys.
That makes a lot of sense. Cool. So let's go to the Virginia Dream. This is a very new squad, a younger team. Not a lot to know. It's the first-year team. They said they're playing for the youth of Virginia, sort of like a charity sort of thing for some leadership things. Are they really anything other than a sacrificial lamb in this game?
I don't think so.
No, this one's interesting. Like I said, I'm not going to comment too much. I'm just not bought into Virginia Dream. I think there's a lot of other teams that would have been more acceptable to accept into West Virginia. These guys weren't even part of the fan selection as one of the bottom teams. In TBT, you don't have to be considered the last team in from a quality standpoint. TBT picks their team for any number of reasons, but I would like to see anyone but Virginia Dream in the West Virginia Regional. So we'll see. They could surprise. I mean, we saw some teams make some pushes this week in the opening rounds, but I think this is going to be a nice tune-up for West Virginia. Get those guys rolling and get prepared for on his squad in round 2.
And by the way, real quick, if you're with the Virginia Dream and you hear us talk crap about you, understand we can't take you in a basketball game, me in charge. And if you guys win, feel free to come in here and talk your shit afterwards. We know when we're wrong. So if you guys pull the upset off, we will eat shit for a full 10 minutes while you come on here. We have no problem with that.
They definitely will. Charge has done it a few times picking against all heard that. So I can attest to y'all definitely are open to that.
Yeah. No, I will we'll see what I pick this year. We'll have to see what I decide ultimately.
Okay. Let's get to the main event, the one we all want to see. So we got heard that, obviously. So the key thing about these slides, we'll talk about they're in flux. We set them based on an early roster, and people don't really know how much work goes into this stuff, but like me and Charge do this for a lot of fun. We both have careers. So the slides get them updated. So there's some people missing off the slide. Let's get into that. So who are the 2 big ads that are not on this slide that just happened recently?
Yes, we just got 2 dudes that both played in the summer league. First, we'll go the order we got them. This isn't particular order of importance, but just the order they committed. First, the commit was Trey Porter, 6'11", 7-foot center. We played against him in Conference USA while he was at Old Dominion. He transferred out for his last year to Nevada and played with the Martin twins and was the starting center on that Sweet 16 team. Tall, long, athletic. We actually think he's a perfect fit for us. He fills a lot of holes that, we've been missing, and throughout our history. He's somebody that can rebound and clean the glass. But he also, when you got guys like me out there guarding on the perimeter, we need somebody who's going to be able to block a shot when we get beat to the rim. And he fills that hole where he can clean up a little bit of the mistakes made on the perimeter on defense. So
gotta move your feet out. Gotta move your feet.
Only moves so fast now. This is the last dance.
I got quick hands, but slow feet. So if I don't get the steal out there, we're not going to be in front for very long. But the second one, so we're glad to have him. He's going to be exciting in the pick and roll with John because John's going to be able to put it up anywhere, and he's going to be able to get it and put it home. And so he fills a big void for us. And then also, last but not least, we signed Cameron Young. He just had a great summer league. He averaged, I think, 25.5 last year in his time with the Charge. Always got to give the Charge a shout out.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But he's a scorer, and that's somebody we can put in the backcourt with John. And that's somebody that can legitimately give us 20 to 25 in any given game. And, me and Steve are getting a little older, and we don't play quite as much as we used to. So it'll be good to have, somebody that can step in and give 20 points and be, a backcourt mate and let us sort of slide over to the wing and just shoot some. So, and he's going to be a big addition. We think he's going to be perfect. I think between him and John, you'd be hard pressed to find a better 1-2 punch out on the perimeter than those two. So we're excited. We think with those two guys, in addition to everything else that we've already announced and you have on the slide, we think this is our best team yet. And we hope that bears out in the tournament this year.
Any way we can get Ja'Cory on a plane?
Man, we've tried. It'd have been good to have Ja'Cory. But,
American flies that morning into West Virginia. I'm on from DC. I'm on the 9 a.m. to 10.
We're not in the lockout phase yet. We're still within over 72
so Ja'Cory,
hours. So
if you're listening, if you want to push a contender from a contender to a true title contender, get on that plane and help your boy out one last time.
Hey, we'd take him. I can only imagine. You add him to the mix, and you're talking about, man, we look like Syracuse last year with the abundance of riches. But I mean, we think with these guys that we're going to be very good. We've got, obviously, I haven't mentioned him yet, but we got John again, and I'm a little bit biased, but I think he's the best player in the tournament. He had 30 on the guys, Team 23 last year, and, just dominated that game and kept us in it, even though we didn't play great. So, we feel really good about our chances. We bring back those guys. We added Justin Johnson, who was a thorn in our side in college, just absolutely ate us up. He's playing in the top level in Italy. James Kelly, played last year, but he didn't even play professionally the year before. So, he wasn't in the shape he is in now. He just had a great year in Greece. So he's going to come in great shape. Last year we had a lot of guys out there that hadn't played in a couple of years. This year we got a lot of guys that are playing at a very high level coming in. So it'll be a new look for Herd that we're not just coming off the couch this year. We got some guys. we got some guys coming in that have been playing.
That's awesome.
Now there's anything wrong with coming off the couch. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that Cam Young pickup's huge, though. Like I said, he kind of flew under the radar last year, played with Memphis for a while, played with the Charge for a while. But this guy really needs to be on an NBA team just like John. And, to have that caliber of shooting, 40% plus three-point shooters, can rebound, can facilitate. It's an incredible 1-2 punch out there. So I can't wait to see that. And you say you're getting old. Stevie had that fountain of youth last year. He was tearing it up in some of those games.
Oh, Stevie is still a bucket. Like, let's not get that confused, but – as we get older, we only have our stamina declines a little bit. So, we've decided, hopefully 2-3 minute stretches, we come out, we hit them hard, and then we'll sub the next guy in, and he'll give us 2-3 minutes, and then sub the next guy in 2-3 minutes, and that should be good enough to go along with John and Cam on the perimeter.
Right. So 33-point contest. Who's doing it? You or your brother? We gonna let you do it for the last hurrah?
I was going to let him do it. He let me do it last year. I said, hey, do you want to do it this year? And he said, nah, go ahead and do it. So I thought that was, nice of him. But, it'd be hard not to let me do it again. I won our region, defending West Virginia regional champ. I know we got a lot of big names shooting against me, but we shot them down last year. We're going to shoot them down again this year.
Who's a rebounder? Oh,
John's the rebounder. I got the best rebounder passer in the tournament. That's my rebounder.
Yeah, that's such an important spot, too. That guy who held a world record shot for sideline cancer. And I haven't seen any video of what took place, but he got knocked out in the first round. And it's much different having to have a rebounder and get that set and perfect pass and all that. So, yeah, John can feed you well.
Right.
Yeah, and he knows where he's been passing to me for a long time. So, we got that chemistry. He knows where that shooting pocket is, and he deserves a lot of credit. He gets out there, he runs, he gets that rebound, he gets it to me quick. A lot of guys might loaf around or out there in slides. He comes in, shoes laced up, and we're getting after it.
Now, speaking of slides in basketball, last year you had quite the ensemble at the end of the game, one of your games, because you were in slides. Are we gonna break out a new fashion template this year?
Hopefully, I just stick to the jersey and shoes this year, but I absolutely tore my back up last year. I ended up, I had a stress fracture in it. So I was out 3 or 4 months after that. I had an MRI and all that done. So I didn't even want to shoot the finals out in Ohio. I had asked him, could John take my place? and they wouldn't let. They said they would bring the guy from West Virginia who I beat, which made absolutely no sense to me. So I went out there and I gave it my best, but I wasn't where I needed to be in the finals. And that was the first time I'd shot since Charleston was out there in Dayton. So hopefully this year I stay healthy, can keep the slides off, and see how far we can push this thing.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your opponent now. So you guys did not get a good draw. Founding Fathers are a really pretty high quality team. They did lose in the first round, their first appearance. They're 0-1, but what a game. They took a national contender in sideline cancer to the very brink. So the selection committee did not do you a solid in any possible way. First of all, when you're scout, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to mention this is between the 5 seed and I think the 3 seed is we had 2 teams come in and lose first round and their seeds just skyrocketed. Whereas we came in and won the first round and then lost by 1 to the team that lost in the championship, and we get dropped on the seed line. So
just matchup. And I agree with TBT. I need that matchup.
You're right, but somebody smart than me is going to figure out how these teams that lose first round jump up in seeds, and whereas we who win, we get put down.
I gotta say, don't let people say people smarter than me. You're going to be a jurist soon. You gotta let people know there's no one smarter than you. Otherwise, no one's going to hire you.
Yeah, the crazy thing is with the 8-team regionals, those 2-3 matchups are nasty. So I mean, at the end of the day, would you really want West Virginia in the second round, or would you want Volunteers, or not Volunteers, Buccaneers? I mean, the 8-team regionals are tough.
With the team we have now, I feel good about any of the teams.
Well, there you go. Then it doesn't matter. So. You got these guys next. So, first of all, you start scouting them, obviously. What do you have to do? And keep it general, and feel free to spread misinformation. What do you have to do to kind of, stop them from getting in your grill?
I think, they're not – I think the main thing is I watch a lot of these games, and some of these teams are just out there, playing it cool. We're going to play hard. And a lot of these teams are giving up wide-open threes just where they're not rotating or, they get a little bit lazy. We're going to play hard. That's something we preach every year is play hard and no wide open threes at this level. You start giving up threes, you're going to lose. We're a good enough scoring team where we can give up some twos and, keep pace with teams and outscore them. But you can't give up wide open threes because threes just make too big of a difference. So we're going to play hard, try to keep them off the 3 line, and we'll see what we can do. Looking at their size, we got a lot more size than they do. I think we have more size, and I think we have better guards. So, they're going to be a tough team, but, I have faith in the bigs we bring. And then, of course, with John and Cam, I don't see a lot of holes, whereas last year I might have been considered a hole. But this year I'll be, my role is shrinking considerably as I age and get ready to go into the workforce. And we got some real players, this year. Not that we haven't in the past, but, we got a bunch of them this year.
Fair enough. So we have a couple more matchups. This was intriguing. We have the Loco Showtime, which is the highest they've ever gotten. They've had some really nice parts against War Ready. Now, what's interesting, we lost Ott there for a second. But this is a good time maybe to go ahead. We can actually run the video right now because we have an interview with the gentleman from War Ready. So let's go ahead. And so while we wait for Ott to come back, should we go ahead and run that video?
Yeah, let's run that video. Absolutely.
Okay, so we have Matt Moschella visiting us from War Ready. Hey guys, Charge Hater presents ZoomTheTBT, and we are doing the West Virginia preview. And we have apparently from the face of the moon and the darkness of the other side of the moon, we have War Ready's GM and head honcho, Matt Moschella. Matt, what's going on tonight?
How you guys doing? We just got done with our first scrimmage here in Wesley Chapel. We won, so
how much did you win by? Now. How much did you win by?
28.
Now, usually that's what you lose by. So how does that feel?
Well,
oh
hey,
man,
he'll get there. This is War Ready's year. So Matt, obviously glad to have you on the show once again. Just to recap, you guys are into your 3rd year, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. As War Ready, as that brand converted over from Tampa 2020, and you'll be heading out to West Virginia again this year. So. The one thing that I want to ask you about is some other folks, not our podcast, said that War Ready is the least War Ready team in the history of the TBT. So talk about that.
I mean, I guess we can deserve it. I mean, the first year of the bubble, we got hit with a couple COVID. So that hurt us. And I've always said this, the first year as the bubble, as the War Tampa team, we only had 3 Auburn guys. So I feel like it really shouldn't count as an Auburn alumni loss, but I do understand. And then last year, we just got flat out smoked. But it is what it is. I just hope they keep the same energy when we make a run this year.
Yeah, keep the same energy. I'm looking at this roster too, and obviously these cards, and we're going to show them throughout the show. We're just using this for a talking point. But you had Bryce Brown and some really, really nice players. So first of all, how much improved is this War Ready roster in your third run as the Auburn alums?
I truly think this is our best roster that we've had, even as my time is Tampa 2020. It's a smaller roster, but I think it's going to be the way that Auburn wants to play. 5 out. Stuff like that. We're gonna probably shoot a lot of threes, run some good defenses, maybe run some zone. We'll see. I can't get into too much details, but I know these guys are sick of losing, and they're ready to try to bring this hopefully to Auburn one day and win some money this year.
Yeah, you mentioned the lack of size. It's a good roster, but a lot of 6'7", 6'6", 6'5". So you're talking about a team that's going to have to press and gang rebound. Now, it does do you a favor in that your opponent in the first round is a similar sort of team. It's a little smaller and built around shooting and speed. So usually games are studies in contrast. And usually one team wants to play helter-skelter and one team wants to play tightly controlled. Against Woco's Showtime, it's highly likely both of you want to play fast and loose. Will this game have a chance of breaking a scoring record in TBT?
As long as we can hit shots, because the last 2 years we haven't been able to hit nothing. So as long as we hit some shots and keep up, I think this could be a 95 to 90 type game, stuff like that. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of threes. It might break a TBT threes attempted record though.
Yeah. Those Florida guys, I know you're down there with Florida TNT. They showed 114 points the other night. So
they
wouldn't
doubled
surprise
them.
me if I know a lot of your guys are home based out of Florida in the offseason. So we'll see if those Florida guys can keep putting up. Now, Bryce Brown, he was at the scrimmage tonight. He's definitely in. So obviously missed last year.
Yeah, he's here.
He's here, ready to go, right on. And
Yep.
You guys added Tim Quarterman this year. So when you kind of pair Bryce Brown and Tim Quarterman, that's a tough backcourt.
Yeah, and also that a very underrated player on our team is Isaiah Williams. He's had very much good success with TBT the last couple times he's played with us. So we really like our backcourt. It's very strong. It's obviously probably the best part of our team. But yeah, Tim is a great add. He's a 6'6" point guard that has some NBA experience. So he's definitely going to be a big help. And he's also played in TBT. That's a big point that we made this year is we want guys that have played in this tournament that know what it takes to win some games.
It is interesting because Auburn's known, especially under the Bruce Poole iterations, the shirtless orange one, to have a very fast and pressing and loose style. However, you're going to be playing 2 guys in McGee and Rousey who can punish open looks if you double. So how are we going to have a controlled chaos that pressures like an Auburn team, but doesn't give up a lot of open jump shots? Because you give up a lot of open jump shots to Rousey and McGee, this game will not go very well.
Yeah, I mean, we're just going to have to, switch everything because we know that they're going to try to run a lot of screens to get those guys open, especially Fletcher. That's their guy. Fletcher played with us. We know how good he is. But, they're going to have to guard us too. Like we said, we have bigger guards. So, we might try to get them in the post a little bit and try to get them in some foul trouble.
I think it's the advantage of having a smaller team that's built around a lot of wings is even though you're not that big, you have to gain rebound, you will be able to switch everything. There won't be anybody who can put on an island because everybody's going to be switchable in your roster. Everybody's about the same size. So it'll be a very switching, frenetic defense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I see on Woco Showtime, Neil Resnicki. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name, but he's been around the TBT forever, going back to the Showtime days. 45 years old. Gives me hope that someday I can take the court in TBT. So Matt, next year, save me a roster spot. I'm a smidge older than that, but one of these days I got to get out there and suit up with y'all.
Yeah, come on. We got a spot waiting for you.
All right, I love it. Hey, quick question about your Heard That guys. So Odd actually thinks you guys might have a chance this year because you picked up a couple Heard That guys. So I saw Coakley on the roster, and these things move so fast. You still have the big 7-footer or no?
No, he actually signed to play in Venezuela, so he's out there. We just have Coke.
It's still Heard That blood. So
he's gonna be running our 5-man. So I think we can use that to our advantage, having Coakley at the 5 because he can shoot and move. So it's gonna be a tough guard for sure.
Yeah, him and Ja'Cory were nasty that one year.
Absolutely.
Rough for Heard That. So really nice pickup for you with Heard
it.
That. So Hayner, what else you got for Matt? Obviously, these are kind of the quick hitters. So
yeah, I will say one thing. So War Ready, and obviously we give you a lot of crap, Matt, but it's from love. We know we're rooting for you. You've been a great guest on the show since your camp at 2020 days. We're obviously rooting for your squad. We don't give you crap. So I will say this though. War Ready has not earned the right to look ahead, but let's go ahead and do it just for a second. Let's say you're able to get past Wilco Showtime. That East Tennessee squad, that Buccaneers, I believe you have an axe to grudge. Last time you played them, you ended up going to casino correctly after, if I remember correctly. So if I saw you at the hotel, that's the one game I got there late, and I'm like, what happened? He goes, I'm going to the casino. And I'm like, that's not a winning guy's talk. So if you're able to send them to the casino, what game should they play at the casino?
Blackjack.
Blackjack?
Absolutely.
Well, I guess, hitting on 21 would be nice. Hopefully you guys don't lose by 21 this year. No, we're rooting for you, Matt, though, obviously. So make sure, hit on 18, hit on 19, hit as high as you can go. Matt Moschella from War Ready. Thanks for coming by.
No problem.
Take care, man. Good luck.
Thank you.
I'm always impressed with what an absolute great sport Matt is, because we give him a high degree of shit, and he's actually he actually takes it well. He's actually a really good spirited guy. They have a really polite team. What were you thinking there? You said you had something.
No, I was just glad to see him because I saw somebody lost 114-57 in round 1 and just assumed it was War Ready. So I'm just glad they haven't played yet because normally that's about their score. But all jokes aside,
I remember that bubble game. Watching the bubble game, it was like, oh my gosh, is it going to end? I just felt so bad because they were obviously a lot of hype that year, and I can't take my eyes off this Heartfire enchantment box score.
I know, 74. Don't say a word, you bastard, because you're ahead
quit.
of me.
I'm behind y'all. I guess my internet's slow. Don't tell me what happens.
Well, here,
I'm watching I'm not watching the broadcast. I'm just watching the box
I'm watching
score.
the broadcast. Do you have 75, 71? What do you have?
No, I have 73, 71.
Okay, then you will soon. Then I won't spoil it for you then. So, yeah, gotcha. I won't spoil it for you. You're behind.
Yeah,
okay.
Eric Washington.
So let Ott enjoy it. So while we're kind of watching and taping at the same time, kind of unavoidable, let's talk a little bit about this Wilco squad. So first of all, shooting all over the place, right, Charge? I mean, when you have a backcourt of shooters like McGee and Rousey, that's nice. Yeah,
and I think the big thing there is that Matt talked about. They might be able to get a little physical with those guys, but I mean, two of the best shooters in the TBT by a landslide. I think they're if they get the open looks and War Ready doesn't play the right defense and take care of their business, I mean, they could get shot out of the gym in a hurry. So hopefully they get game planned right and take care of their business. But if you're looking pure shooters, I don't think you're going to find much better than Rousey and McGee. Maybe those Elmore brothers. They might be able to put it up there, but that's a solid squad there shooting wise.
Now, we made a lot of fun on War Ready, but the thing is, they actually do. This is the weirdest thing: is they have a quality squad, they have a good roster. Matt works hard. They have good leadership. They have a good fan base. They just seem to be cursed. What do they have to do to break this curse on? Like, what do they have to do?
Man, like you said, if they let those two get hot, they're gonna look like Team About Billions, because if you let those two get hot, this game is going to be over. The Wilco team reminds me a lot about our Herd team. They're going to be getting up and down, shooting a ton of threes. Like you mentioned, that's one of the best shooting backcourts in the whole tournament. I won't say it's the best because I like our Herd backcourt. I think we shoot it pretty good. But if they have to play some D, and if this turns into a track meet, they better be getting back and getting on shooters. That's about the only chance they have, because if that team starts hitting threes, it's going to get ugly.
Yeah, it could be a pretty interesting matchup. We have one to go with our West Virginia preview. That's the Buccaneers versus Fully Loaded. We'll talk a little bit about – we'll start with the Fully Loaded card first, because this is just a roster that does with their – it's basically alumni of an AAU squad. There's some nice parts there, but this is the first time I've ever seen an AAU alumni squad in here. I mean, it's the Boo Williams team's been in before, right? That's an AAU squad, correct?
Yeah. Which they've been out for a couple of years now, so they came out, competed hard the first year. But yeah, this team here, I think it's one of those ones. It's kind of the unknowns. They do have guys, playing professionally, guys playing in the G League, but most people aren't going to know the players. But if they come in right, got the cohesion, they can put up a fight. Obviously, tough ball or bucket. I'm always going to confuse Volunteers and Buccaneers. Tough Buccaneers team to have to face. But
let me help you. I hate one of them and don't hate the other one.
So I know the Volunteers name will never come out of your mouth. So you'll keep
it'll come out of my mouth.
there.
I will definitely. I'll talk about the Volunteers all the time because you know what they've never done. No Tennessee team has ever made a Final Four ever.
I know.
So screw it.
That's Hayner's stat. But I think it'd be a challenge here, and I don't know if you're familiar with any of these guys or played against any of these guys in the past, but we'll see if they're fully loaded. But they'll have some challenges.
That's a nice squad, though. Go ahead.
No, Curtis Jones played at Huntington Prep, so we've played with him. But I think, unfortunately, these two teams, they're both Virginia-based, fully loaded, and Virginia Dream. I think they were both brought in sort of sacrificial lambs. I think, as you mentioned before, there's probably some teams a bit better, at least on paper, that got eliminated, weren't selected. So I think these two teams were just they were brought in to fill a spot, and I guess be there is about all I can say.
The Washington Generals of the versus the Globetrotters. They need that team to just fill the spot.
Hey, but, is your internet cut off, Bot? Where are you at on the game?
It's 77-74. Is it over?
Okay, you have the call. When it ends, you have the call.
Okay.
So feel free to break in and get excited. Either way. Okay, so while we wait for that to occur,
could be a comeback.
It just ended.
And Champion's coming back.
For the Washington drove full court and laid in a layup.
Yeah,
so he scored 7 of the 9 in Elam ending time. So he started off with a 3 and a couple other buckets. But that's a great game.
I don't have him. I have Marcus Hall, right?
I don't even remember.
I actually don't like that little Washington dude. Not because anything he did, but he scored on John, so I got pissed off. I was like, here, if you're not going to guard him, I will. And then I sat down in the stance on for about 0.5 seconds, and my back went out. So he's officially the guy that injured me last year. So it's hard to root for him.
So
you have Marcus Hall.
Okay.
Well, not to totally before we get into Buccaneers. So we had our first ever ZoomTheTBT fantasy TBT league this year, and I was drafted. So you weren't on my draft board, but Ty, who's a hardcore TBT guy, he's in the fan selection committee, so he knows the TBT. He had you in round 13, and he moved up 2 rounds to make sure he didn't lose you.
You got to have me because like that first year, before people start putting me on the scouting report against Peoria, I had about 9 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. That's a solid little production line. But once then teams started, they guarded me because they didn't want to see me on a highlight. So they just had a guy come over and stand with me all game and not everybody else. And production fell off from that point on.
But elite group getting drafted in the ZoomTheTBT league, though. So you're right up there with Tyrese Rice and guys like that.
Definitely, but we are running long, so we'll get to this East Tennessee alumni team. So, Charge, this team came correct. They had a really great initial run their first year, going 2-1, making the Super 16, winning some games, sending Matt home, and then also winning another game. Is this team a little better, or a little worse? They lost Toya, which doesn't help, but they did add some guys too. I think Ward's an add. So this is still a team that's going to play hard defense and value the ball and cause turnovers, right?
Yeah, no, this team, I mean, they're intense. What I like about these guys, and it's just the right personality for West Virginia. They want to fight everybody, so it's not like they got a grudge or an axe to grind with one team. They're out there, I mean, picking social media beast with everybody, and so a fun team to watch. A lot of drama. Let's wait and see. But obviously the addition of Nick Ward's really big for them because they did lose Toyo, and Nick Ward played really good in TBT a couple of years back, and they did lose can't remember the guy's first name, Boyd, but they lost Boyd as well. So those are two pretty big holes that they have to fill. But when you look at guys like Bo Hodges that they picked up new, I know some of those guys who follow college basketball really high on Bo Hodges, DeSanta Bradford, solid player there. So I think they're equally as good as last year. But, once again, once you kind of get past that first year and you get your feet wet in the TBT, it gets a little bit easier for you. You know what to expect and can play a little tougher, a little deeper typically.
Who was the kid they had that kept firing up the crowd? Is he on the squad this year?
Mike Iliano. Is it Mike Iliano?
I can't remember. I know I think that's the guy that's not on the team this year. I think
remember he kept like grabbing his stuff and yelling wild stuff to the crowd.
I think it was Boyd. Because he got on this one game.
Sounds like my kind of guy.
Dropping everything. I mean, he was on it. And I think they got Merriweather this year too, who he's like I said, got a day job doing construction or something, and he played awesome last year. So like I said, this is a good blue collar team. They're going to come out fighting and getting under people's skin, and as long as people stay composed, they should be able to run with them. But fun team though.
So Odd, I assume that you think our picks lack the correct shade of green at the end.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of your picks, but I think if y'all would have made these after seeing our additions, I think maybe some of this would have changed.
I think I would have definitely considered it. I'll let Charge talk about why he picked West Virginia and pre the additions. That is clear. We did do these pre additions. It's very clear. So Charge, why did you decide to break Bot's heart one round earlier than I did?
Because I'm not going to stop now. I've kind of gone against Odd every year that he's been in the TBT. So, but it really came down to it feels like West Virginia's due. I mean, heard that. Showed their premier team in the TBT the past 2 years. West Virginia hasn't performed as well as they should. So as bad as the logic sounds, it's almost like they're just kind of due. I think they improved a little bit better. Their team's a little stronger than it has been in the past for West Virginia, but it's just a feel, just a gut, and I don't mind being wrong, if a team like heard that and not John move on, so it's a pick on paper, but yeah, I would rather see Heard that advance and enjoy the ride and seeing these guys roll, but it's just a gut on West Virginia.
I think his analysis was about half right. He said they're due. He just forgot the other half. They're due. That's why I heard that is winning the championship.
Okay.
You had half of it. You had half.
That's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. So I went with shooting. I went with Loco. I thought it would be a fun story. About more of a thing I'll pick. I'll put you on the spot. You can't pick your team. Anybody else, any of the 7 teams, if you're not winning the region. Let's just hypothetical in this 1 in a million chance Herd doesn't win. Who would be your co-favorite?
I don't know about. I'm not going to pick from an analytical point, but if I had to pick another team to win it, I'd want to see Woco because I think that'd be the funnest brand of basketball. Mm-hmm. They're going to get up and down, shoot a lot of threes, and I wouldn't if somebody wins it. Say Herd gets eliminated because COVID tomorrow. We'll just say we'll be rooting for Woco because they play a brand that's fun and they're like Herd that juniors.
So are you saying War Ready has zero chance again this year?
I'm not saying they have zero chance, but
it's an open
I'm
bracket.
rooting for Coakley too. I forgot about that. They got Coakley, so I'm rooting for him too.
It's an open bracket.
But I mean, man, they just. Before I saw About Billions play yesterday, I thought War Ready was about the worst showing I've ever seen in a TBT. So credit to Matt. They no longer have the worst showing I've ever seen. They're now second.
Don't forget the Stillwater Stars getting curb stomped last year by Everline Drive. That was an actual execution. Don't forget that.
That game yesterday was as bad as I've seen. 114 to 57.
Yeah, I mean, that was a knockout. I mean, they should have never been in because playing against TMP, I could have tolerated that, but they should have never been in.
They don't have bad names either. Like they just didn't even play.
Yeah, it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best showing. So I'll leave it to you. Last and closing thoughts. Where do you want to take this for the last thought as we sign off?
I would actually hope that you two, I've convinced you to with our roster additions, that the next time I come on this show, your graphic will be, we are picking the herd to win in Dayton.
Yeah,
So
we got to do the
this.
finals preview for the regional.
Yeah,
So
that's what I'm saying.
we'll get you
so
live.
Here's the thing. Yeah, so here's the thing. It's like we're going to do finals previews as well. We're going to do 4 final preview shows. We already done 1 for Rucker and Omaha. So look, you win 2 games, you're mandated to be a guest because we're going to have you on because you're going to be.
Oh, we can do it straight from the bar.
Absolutely. I think we should do a show from bar. We'll talk about that after we finish taping. Which, speaking of which, we're going to finish taping right now. So, thanks for coming by. This has been Charge and Hayner, Zoom the TBT, previewing the West Virginia Regional. Signing off.
Hope you enjoyed listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hayner. Subscribe to YouTube, follow on Twitter, and give us your money.